I'm chatting with some people this morning about autoimmunity and trying to see how everybody's doing with their autoimmunity. I had lots of questions last night. Lots of autoimmunity toward the thyroid, toward the ANA, lots of lupus happening. Even had a case of cerebellar ataxia, which is kind of scary. That has to do with the brain and how the brain functions, and it's an autoimmune situation. So, would like to know how you guys are doing, how you're feeling. What are you guys doing to calm your immune system down? If you have any strategies that you're working on, are you guys doing some gluten, dairy free? What kind of supplements are we taking? Very, very important to take vitamin D. I have lots of patients who say, I'm taking my vitamin D, and then I check their levels and it's like at 30 or 40. And you really need to have a therapeutic dose of vitamin D. Like, I need your vitamin D to be 70, 80, 90. Okay. I need it to be up there. I need it to really be significant because vitamin D is an immune system modulator. It calms the immune system down. It stimulates something called Treg cells. So regulatory T cells, it regulates your immune system. It calms it down. It makes it calmer. So we want to make sure that we are doing the basics for getting your immune system to calm down. Most of my patients who have autoimmunity are dealing with gluten issues, dairy issues. Sometimes, the top 5 really are gluten and dairy, corn, soy, and eggs. So lots and lots of people having food reactions. So food reactions are pretty common. You have proteins in gluten and in dairy that create a response to your immune system. Your immune system attacks gluten and dairy, and then it attacks you too. It's called cross-reactivity. So the immune system gets a little tricked sometimes, right? So let's say you have an issue with certain foods that look like the tissues of your body, which is very weird. It's called molecular mimicry. We have foods that look like our thyroid. We have foods that look like our tissues and our joints and our skin. And if you eat those foods, it triggers your immune system to attack your own tissue. So it's called molecular mimicry. It's this very weird thing that you'd think that your immune system is like super savvy, on top of everything, but sometimes it decides to attack you, makes antibodies, and then forevermore, it can attack your tissues, thinking that it's a virus, thinking it's a bacteria, thinking it's foreign. So what's really important is to make sure that your immune system is educated enough to know where your body is in space and where your brain is, what your body is, what's new, what's self, what's non-self is what we're looking at. So we need your immune system to not be attacking you and destroying you. Okay. So lots and lots of people have autoimmunity and they don't even know they have it. Right. So have you been tested? Have you gotten your markers run? I like to have people run an ANA. But what I'd like you to have run actually is an ANA cascade. Now, the cascade tells you, like, it goes into more specific tissues, right? It's not just, oh, you have an ANA. Now, when we are looking at ANA, we want to make sure that we know what the number is and what the pattern is. Okay, so it's going to say ANA positive. It's going to give you a number. It's going to tell you 1 in 80, 1 in 160, 1 in something else. And it's going to give you a pattern: speckled, homogeneous. It's going to say centromere. It's going to say some kind of pattern associated with this. So if you know what your pattern is, then that can give you a clue as to what could happen next, right? So we want to figure out, are you going to develop some sort of condition? Like, there's certain patterns that go toward lupus. There's certain patterns that go toward Sjogren's, which is dry mouth and dry eyes and some joint pain, right? There's certain patterns that go into Hashimoto's, okay? So, so we've got a positive ANA, 1 in 640, homogeneous pattern. What further testing should we ask for? Thanks for asking that, Riley. That's a great question because we need to know more. I want you to get an ENA panel. So ENA is going to look at lupus markers specifically. Now, homogeneous can move to lupus. It doesn't mean it's going to. It just means that that's a possibility. It's on the table. Okay. So another test you could think about is you could think about getting an ANA cascade. Okay. So that can also include an ENA panel. So I want you, when you go to see your doctor, I want you to say, hey, I've got a homogeneous pattern. I want to run some markers just to make sure I'm not developing lupus. Okay. That'll be super helpful. So I want you to think about getting your inflammation down to make sure that you have not as much inflammation. Do you have any inflammation? Have you had it tested? The best inflammatory marker we can run is high sensitivity CRP. So it comes out HS-CRP. Okay. So we want to be looking at high sensitivity CRP. We want to look at ESR. Those are two inflammation markers. And if you have inflammation, why? What's happening, right? I mean, if you have, say you have rheumatoid arthritis, right? And you have joint pain and your knuckles are swollen and they're red, that can create a lot of inflammation throughout your system. So you can pick up inflammation. Now, rheumatoid arthritis, we want to run a couple of markers. We want to run rheumatoid factor and we want to run anti-CCP. It's a citrullonated protein. It's just something that's part of the rheumatoid arthritis panel. So we want to run both of those guys. Now, let's talk about Hashimoto's. What do we want to run with Hashimoto's? So if your thyroid is low, then I want you to be looking at why. If you have hypothyroid, 80% of people with hypothyroid have Hashimoto's. So you want to get that tested. Now, your doctor might say, doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to treat you with thyroid medication anyway. So who cares if you have Hashimoto's? But if you have Hashimoto's, there are strategies to get your immune system to calm down. Okay. So we want to know that there's strategies that your medical doctor might be like, I don't know. I don't care. I've never really learned that. I'm just going to wait till your thyroid gets destroyed and then put you on thyroid medication. So that's a strategy, but it's not ours. Yes, we want to put you on medication if you need it, but also if you have Hashimoto's, we need to have you on selenium. We need to have you on vitamin D. We need to get you on probably a gluten and dairy-free diet. That's super helpful. Okay, somebody says they have a positive ANA, 1 is 160 speckled. ENA was negative. You have joint pain, sun-sensitive rash, and a previous CRP of 15. Okay, what are we going to do here? So we want to figure out, you have something going on, right? I mean, the sun-sensitive rash always makes us worry about lupus, especially when it's here, right over the top of your nose, like a butterfly rash. But it doesn't mean you have lupus. But see, here's the thing. If you kind of think about like a 1 to 10 scale, and 10 would be full-blown lupus, such as destruction and pain. 1 might be, I have a sun-sensitive rash and I have an ANA. Am I developing that? It doesn't mean that we can even find it on labs. It just might mean that you're marching toward that, right? You're moving in this direction. So this is a great time to learn some strategies about calming your immune system down. So and joint pain too. Joint pain is often part of this. There's usually a rash, joint pain, and fatigue. You probably have fatigue too. Previous CRP of 15, that's a little high. We want it to be under 1. So yeah, there's some inflammation there. So things we want to think about, basics. I'd love for you to get off of gluten and dairy and see how it makes you feel. I'd love for you to get on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs every day. Okay, let's start there. Now, I have a whole autoimmune shift program that I've just opened up. If you want to have like a learning platform where you can watch a bunch of videos and learn everything you need to know about autoimmunity, I have some resources and I have an autoimmune support group that happened today, actually at 11 a.m. Pacific. So that's something you can join. It's if you look up darlabooth.com, /, hold on a second, let me think, darlabooth.com /compass, and then another /. It's called the Compass Group. It's a compass. You're trying to get direction, right, on where to go and what to do next. It's also a link in my link tree in my bio. So if you want to pop on there, it's not expensive and it's great learning. You can learn everything you need to learn. I'll just teach everything to you. So feel free to hop over there. We're helping a lot of people. What about low ferritin at your level 4? Okay, ferritin is iron stores, right? So how is your hemoglobin? How's your iron levels? Are you a vegetarian? Are you eating meat? I would like you to eat some meat, any meat. Now, this is not just red meat. Red meat has the most iron, but so does chicken, fish, shrimp. All those things have iron in them, right? So if you have some of those, that would be helpful. If you wanted to take some iron, you could. There's a great iron called Ferrosorb by Thorne. It's by iron bisglycinate and B12, B6, vitamin C, super helpful. I wouldn't get like, say, an iron transfusion unless your iron levels are really low and your hemoglobin's really low. That's just iron stores. You just want to add more iron so you can store more and make sure you're not bleeding too much. Hopefully you're not having too much heavy cycles. Somebody says they've got, what else? Positive for centromere. So centromere it can move to something that's called CREST syndrome, and it's CREST. They stand for different things. There's like sort of a tightness and stiffness in the joints. You get this sort of calcinosis. You get Raynaud's, which is like sort of that whiteness and coldness on your fingertips. You can get a little esophageal stuff where you're like, ooh, my swallowing is really weird and I'm getting a little scarring in my esophagus. There's just all sorts of little bits that you can have going on. So that I want you to understand how to calm your autoimmunity down. This is why I made a whole autoimmune shift program. It's not expensive, guys. It's $179 to learn the whole thing. And it's $50 a month if you want to be a part of the autoimmune support group and keep the resources and all that kind of stuff. And I'm on the Zoom on Fridays at 11 a.m. every single week. So if you want to, bring your Q&As, I'm on there. We can answer questions. We can it's like better than a live because then I can actually answer everybody's questions, which is nice. Somebody over here on YouTube has a question about mast cell flare-ups with mast cell headaches for 4 days. Okay, is red meat good for mast cell? Well, it depends. So we're looking for histamines. Now, high histamine causes your eyes to water and you to sneeze and have allergic reactions, right? But it can also cause hives. So we want to think about look up like a low histamine diet, because what you want to think about is don't eat leftovers that are more than a day old that has a lot of histamines in it. You want to look up the list of the high histamine foods and kind of clear those out for a little bit. You can also take a supplement called quercetin, Quercetin, quercetin. And if you need a link, DM me and I'm happy to send you a link through FullScript. You want to do 2,000 milligrams of quercetin every day to stabilize mast cells. So happy that someone's popping in. Almost everybody pops in on TikTok. So this is fun to have. I have all sorts of lives running right now. So anyway, let's see what else. I've never had an ENA. I'll ask for an ENA. Great idea. If you have a hard time getting it, let me know. I can always send you a link through FullScript. They're doing Quest Cash Labs now through FullScript, which is pretty cool. So if you have trouble, let me know. I'm happy to send you a link to just go get it done. Let's see. Diagnosis scleroderma for me. Okay. So scleroderma, we're dealing with a lot of fibrousness around the joints, and it can be, fibrous in the lungs and in the heart, in your body. Feel super, super stiff, right? So that one's going to be, we really need to get your immune system, big picture. We got to get your immune system to calm down and stop attacking you. Okay. It's just attacking you on the regular. So it's slowly going to destroy stuff. So how do we do that? We have to calm the immune system down, which is get the food triggers out. Now, it could be gluten, dairy, corn, soy, eggs. It could be some things that are oh man, I hate that I can't eat gluten or dairy, right? But we're going to have to figure out what your triggers are. You could get on an autoimmune paleo diet for 30 days and then sort of reintroduce foods, see how the foods make you feel, experiment a little bit. You could just get off of gluten and dairy, see how it makes you feel. Get on vitamin D. If you need more education, I have a whole autoimmune shift training program. Just pop on and purchase the program and then get in the support group with me, because we have kind of a small group right now. It's kind of fun. We have about 8 people in there right now. And so I'd love for more people to join in. We just answer all the questions and give you lots of really good direction. So scleroderma, we got to get on top of it because it can be very disabling over your lifetime. So we have to calm your immune system down. Okay. We have to figure out what the triggers are. So if you feel like your immune system is triggered by what triggered it? My question for all of you is, what started all of this? When did it start? Did you have a baby? Did you go through menopause? Did you get exposed to some virus? Did you get COVID? Did you get the flu? Did you get something that drove your immune system a little crazy? And then all of a sudden, here it was. That can be a really interesting piece of information for us to know, okay, maybe this is viral. They're doing really good studies right now. I mean, Stanford just put out a study that talked about Epstein-Barr actually could be the trigger for lupus. Who hasn't had Epstein-Barr? That's mono. A lot of us had it when we were teenagers, right? And even if you don't think you had it, I can do antibody tests on people, and almost everybody has antibodies toward Epstein-Barr. So if you get really worn out, you're super stressed, you aren't getting sleep, you're not eating well, you're traveled a lot, something like that, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my lymph nodes are sore and I feel super exhausted. That can be a reactivation of Epstein-Barr. Then that can trigger your autoimmunity to go harder. Okay, does that make sense? Somebody's CRP is 4. CRP, it depends on the lab. Now, LabCorp has a different panel. Quest has a different range, right? Quest, the CRP should be under 1, but some ranges are 1 to 10. So take a look at your blood work. Does it show out of range? CRP 4 is kind of on the border. Scleroderma, dormant. What can you do for fatigue, joint pain, severe coldness? Okay, so we need to look at the big picture here. So what made it activate, right? What made it go dormant? We want to try to get this immune system to calm down, kind of go into dormancy. That's exactly what we want to do. So vitamin D, 5,000 IUs, get off of gluten and dairy. Let's make sure that you're sleeping really well. What's happening with your blood sugar? If you're pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, we have to turn that around. You can't be diabetic at all because you're the blood sugar high and crashing low. That's can trigger your immune system, right? It triggers your immune system to attack you. So this is why I've made 13 modules of videos of information to kind of go through all these different videos, because some people are viral trigger. Some people it's a food trigger. Some people, my gosh, everybody in their family has autoimmunity, right? So we have to know like what's your trigger, and that helps us. It informs us as to how you're going to go into a dormant phase, okay? My next group starts next week. So if you want to pop in on my group, I would love, love, love to see you there. So and you can pop in and meet so many people in there that all have autoimmunity, which is super helpful. So chronic blepharitis, interesting. Your autoimmune, can autoimmune disease be triggered by chronic blepharitis? So that's like an inflammatory situation that happens in your eyes. And so my question is, did the chronic blepharitis come from an infection? Or is it a lot of people come to me with eye swelling inflammation that triggers me to think, ooh, they might have autoimmunity happening throughout their body. So was it a coincidence? Was it the canary in the coal mine that said, this is something that's happening and it's deeper in my body? Or was it actually locally triggering it? That's my big question. There was something that happened, probably infection. Somebody wants to know about my residency. I have I'm an advanced functional medicine practitioner. It's a 1,200 hour certification program. So that's why, and I specialize in autoimmunity. I did most of my deep dives in autoimmunity. So because I have an ANA marker and so does my daughter. So listen, Mama Bear, I'll tell you, I know everything about autoimmunity because my daughter has it. So I'm like, oh, we can't have this. She has an autoimmune marker that's going to go toward lupus. So I'm like, no, my friend, we're going to turn this around. So I made this whole program for her, really, because she's like, you need to teach people. So pretty cool. Anyway, ANA, and by the way, she's doing really well. Yay. So ANA positive nuclear nucleolar pattern. Okay. So nuclear nucleolar is going to be, you can go into Sjogren's. Do you have any symptoms of Sjogren's? Do you have any like dry mouth, dry eyes? Sometimes that's part of it. Some of these patterns are pretty generic and it's hard to know exactly what they mean. So you could go into like a mixed connective tissue syndrome where you go, my joints all hurt. I have myositis, my body hurts. They used to call that just fibromyalgia, right? They call it polymyositis, which is like, oh, my joints kind of hurt. It can move into scleroderma possibly. So that's where there's a lot of joint stiffness, and can be stiffness and fibrousness around like the esophagus and the heart and the lungs and things like that. It can move into crest syndrome, which is kind of that centromere one I was talking about, where do you have Raynaud's on the ends of your fingers, and do you have stiffness or calcifications in your joints? So it can be a lot of things. So we want to look at like specific things. I would do an ANA cascade, see if there's other markers that are coming up that are specific, and kind of correlate it with your symptoms. So remember when you were like, I don't know, I'm 56. So when I was in school, they had those overhead projectors, and they had like, they put a little picture down, and then they overlapped a picture, and they overlapped a picture. And then you could see like different things that later on top. This is what I'm trying to do. I want to look at your labs, but I want to put your symptom picture overlapping. And then I want to look at your other labs overlapping. Like, do you have inflammation? Do you have Epstein-Barr markers? Do you have a chronic high viral load? Is your vitamin D low? Are you eating gluten and dairy? Is it triggering you? Maybe, right? So that's, so we want to think about, so with this ANA positive nucleolar pattern, I want you to think about going for 30 days on an autoimmune paleo diet, AIP. It's kind of restrictive. It's like meats and veggies. Nightshades are out, nuts and seeds are out, grains are out. And then just see how your body feels. If you feel different, then we have a food trigger here. And then you slowly add one food in at a time. If you pop into my group, we're doing this as a group. We're all doing an autoimmune paleo week to see how we feel, coming back and reporting in, doing some experiments. So that would be helpful. An autoimmune paleo diet would be helpful. You can also get on glutathione. Glutathione is an antioxidant in our body. It protects our tissue from attack. It can calm the immune system down. It's magical. It helps what they call the Treg cells, regulate your immune system. Pretty good. Also, okay, someone has an ANA of 1 in 1280, TPO of 468, ultrasound today. Okay, so yeah, you have Hashimoto's. Okay, ANA 1280, is it speckled, I wonder? Sometimes ANA speckled can mean Hashimoto's. Sometimes it can be Hashimoto's that pops over into kind of a positive ANA. But here's what you need to know. I want you to think about ANA like a little umbrella over the top of you. You have an umbrella of autoimmunity. You live under this little umbrella. So your immune system has decided to attack your thyroid for sure, but it can turn and attack another tissue just as easily, right? So you have a higher chance of developing a second or a third autoimmune condition if you have one. This is why I want you to understand how to calm your immune system down so that you cannot develop another one, right? Because sometimes when you go through high stress, or you go through menopause, or you have a baby, or you have a COVID vaccine, or you have a COVID infection, or you get the flu, you can your immune system kind of goes crazy and it goes, oh, let me like actually attack something else. Okay. Doctor confirmed lupus today, wants me to start Plaquenil. Okay. Let's think about it. Okay. So here's big picture. What I want you to think about with lupus. It's really aggressive. It can be really destructive. I'm happy to talk to you about it individually. If you want to do like a little consult or something like that, I'm happy to shake this down with you. But we want to slow your immune system down. Plaquenil can help, but here's what we do. We want to make a braid. We want to braid in any kind of medications that you need to do, fine. Also supplements, also lifestyle, also food reactions, right? Glutathione. Look and see if you have leaky gut. Like, yes, you could pop on Plaquenil to calm your immune system down for a minute, but then it gives us some time to look under the hood and say, what else is happening in here? What's about to break? What do we need to fix that isn't apparent right now? So that, I do not mind Plaquenil. It's also called hydroxychloroquine. They use a lot of people used it during COVID. COVID caused the immune system to go crazy. So Plaquenil kind of was helpful. Now, you can decide not to do Plaquenil. There's a lot of choices. You have lots of choices here. But I would implore you to reach out and pop into my group. I have a group that starts next week. We're going to be meeting on Fridays at 11 Pacific Standard Time. It gives you some time to watch all the videos and to look at all the resources and then ask some Q&As to me. But also, I can help you figure out what's next. This is not hard. This is why I'm making a platform, because everybody needs support, right? And everybody has something a little different. And not everybody, and I'm not your prescriber, right? That's not what I'm doing. I just want to help you with functional medicine strategies to kind of braid that in and help your doctor work better and help this work better, right? And come to a root cause. We want to figure out the root cause of why this is triggered, okay? So, okay. I lost, I'm sorry, there's so many questions. I'm just trying to make sure, okay, that I don't miss anybody. Should you heal a dysregulated nervous system or SIBO first? Not which one to tackle first. Okay. So SIBO, overgrowth of bad bacteria in your small intestine. Do you have a strategy to kill the bad bacteria first? Sometimes you can get a medication called Xifaxan or Rifloximine. That can be helpful. Sometimes you can just get a supplement that has a bunch of herbs in it that's very successful at killing SIBO. My favorite ones, okay, hold on. What is it called? I like GI Microbex. I also like Metagenics. Oh my gosh, what's the name of it? I'm going to have to look on chat so I can remind myself. There's a couple supplements that are really magical for SIBO. Give me a second. Let me just tell you what those are because I want you to, and if you want a link, I can help you get a link. So supplements, I love chat. It really helps me figure out stuff that's not in my hard drive in my brain. For SIBO, there are 2 supplements through Metagenics that have been super helpful. And I want to give you, come on chat, give me the answer. Are you constipated? Do you have diarrhea? Because SIBO can cause either one of those, right? A lot of times it's constipation. But give me the name of the Metagenics one. Hold on a second. It's giving me all these dumb things. Sorry about that. Metagenics. Oh, wait, I remembered. Candibactin, AR, and BR. I'm faster than chat. I'm so glad. Candibactin, AR, and BR are very, very, very good at killing SIBO. Amazing. There's a really cool website called SIBOinfo.com. Amazing that she recommends she's the SIBO specialist, and this is the one she recommends, right? She loves the Metagenics AR and BR. If you want a link, let me know. I'm happy to just pop you a link. Just put in a DM on TikTok, say SIBO supplements, and give me your name and your email, and I can pop it to you. But I would do that first because you can get really anxious if you have overgrowth of bad bacteria, and 90% of our serotonin is made in our gut. So if your gut is really messed up and you have overgrowth of bad bacteria, you're not making a lot of serotonin, and you can feel really anxious. So how about we do some killing first and then start working on your dysregulated nervous system? Maybe you want to be on a supplement that's called Cortisol Manager that lowers your overall cortisol. Super helpful. I love that supplement so much. It helps your immune system. Your nervous system to calm down. CBD can help. Magnesium L-threonate can help. Valerian and passion flower can help. L-theanine can help. My gosh, I could just name off a million things that can help. So why don't you do this, and then let me know. Let me know if you can, if you need some help. If you need help, then let me know. Okay. So always nice to get really good quality supplements because good quality supplements are hard to find. So if you are just getting stuff off of Amazon, it makes me a little bit worried, because I don't know where we're getting it. We're having a hard time right now with supplements that are coming in from China and India because they're having a lot of heavy metals in them. So I want you to be really careful just about the quality of your supplements. Let's talk about rosacea. And then hold on YouTube. I'm going to get right to you too. Rosacea. So rosacea is just pretty much like you have a lot of like redness on your face, right? You got it almost looks like acne, but it's kind of not. It's kind of like a little rashy, but it's down here. Now rosacea is down here or up here. But if you have a lupus rash, it's going to be more a butterfly rash. It's going to look like this. It's going to be on your top of your cheeks and on the top of your nose. Okay. Different rashes, but both are just rashy on your face. So it just tells me you have autoimmunity. Okay. So your immune system is making that skin have that reaction. So it doesn't give me anything super specific. I would do an ANA marker on you to see if there's anything specific happening. Maybe run some Hashimoto's markers. Overlap that with your symptoms, right? We want to really know what's going on here. So I want you to think about that. And I want you to get on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs. I want you to get off of gluten and dairy. If you got off of gluten and dairy, got on vitamin D, and you notice that your rosacea started to fade, that's your answer. It might be just a food reaction like that. Okay. Let me talk quickly to YouTube here. Somebody had a reaction to blueberries. I soaked them in vinegar. Normally I soak baking soda, no reaction. Literally 10 minutes after I ate it, my chest got tight. I need to do an autoimmune paleo diet. Okay, yeah, so something's going on there. Are you having a reaction to vinegar? That's really interesting. I mean, that sort of chest getting tight, that's worrisome, right? You feel like, oh, is this sort of an asthma-ish, right, like type reaction? So that's something we have to kind of investigate a little bit more. Anytime we eat foods that we have reactions to, you might get joint pain. You might get a rash. You might get a bloated gut. You might get chest tightness. You might just feel really, really tired. So these are all things. You could get brain fog. Weird things, right? I mean, it's weird. Gluten is the weirdest. Gluten can cause weird neuropathies. People come in with weird neuropathies. I get them off of gluten and it goes away, and I just go, okay, that's weird, right? It's a very weird thing. So, but food makes us feel a certain way. So here's the goal. I really want you to make sure that you are watching how food makes you feel, because it's a big deal. Food's a big deal. Somebody wants to know if we can reverse a 5.0 centromere antibody reading. Okay, so here's the thing. Anybody who tells you that they can reverse autoimmunity, they don't know what they're talking about. We cannot, if I could reverse autoimmunity, I'm getting the Nobel Prize for Science, 100%. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to calm down the attack. And what we're really trying to do when you really get in the weeds on this is there's this thing called T cells. They come from your thymus. And then there's B cells. B cells come from your bone marrow, okay? So the B cells made the antibody. The T cells are doing the attack, okay? So what we're trying to increase are something called T regulatory cells, regulatory T cells. They're called Tregs. It means it's like the calmer. So if your immune system is driving full throttle, 100 miles an hour, the Treg cells are the brake, or that it's going to slow you down, okay? So that's what we're trying to increase. We're trying to calm down the reaction. So most of my patients I work with, the people that are in my autoimmune shift program, like my friend Lorenza just popped in this morning and said her thyroid peroxidase went from over 900, now it's at 160. So see, we're bringing down the destruction number, right? It's 80% better because she's on a different diet. She's on vitamin D. She's on glutathione. She's sleeping. She's on hormones that she needs to be on. We're watching for viruses. So it's a whole big picture. So it's not like anybody who guarantees that your antibodies are going to go away is lying. We just don't know how to do it. I wish we did, but we can increase your Treg cells, okay? That are going to calm down your reaction. Oh, someone with ANA, dense fine speckled, and a few nuclear dots. Okay, dense fine speckled. Let's talk about that for a second. And let me remind myself what the nuclear dots was. There's so many patterns. It's hard to keep it in your head, right? Okay, not that one. Nuclear dots. Dense fine speckled dots. Sorry, I can't do two things at once, apparently. Dense fine speckled. Sorry. Dense fine speckled means that your immune system is dysregulated, period. It means that your immune system could be upset about an infection, about a virus, a bacteria, about it's just inflamed, right? So it's just telling me that there's some upset there, okay? So dense fine speckled doesn't tend to go toward autoimmunity at all. It just says my immune system is dysregulated, okay? Now, the nuclear dots, let me remind myself. Okay, yeah, that's nuclear dots. So nuclear dot conditions, it could be primary biliary cholangitis, which means it's your gallbladder, liver, the bile duct in there. So we want to watch your liver enzymes. We want to watch how you digest fats. Do you digest fats well? Do you feel like you get nauseous when you eat fats? That can be a biliary thing. There's an autoimmune hepatitis it could be. What else could it be? That's about all. So you want to do like an ANA cascade. You want to see if you're developing any specific tissues. You want to go when you get your blood work done in your comprehensive metabolic analysis, all the doctors run it. The liver enzymes are going to be on there, ALT and AST. Look at those numbers. Are they high? Are they normal? They're normal. We just watch that, right? Especially with dense fine speckled. I'm not worried about dense fine speckled, but I am worried that your immune system is dysregulated, okay? Okay, so we've got, sorry, I'm kind of moving back to, okay, do I recommend probiotics? Sure, probiotics are great. Probiotics can really help the gut, especially if you diversify them and try different ones and populate different ones into your gut. Now, if you have SIBO or overgrowth of bad bacteria, Probiotics can make you bloated and make you not feel so good. So yeah, I mean, especially if you are taking an antibiotic, I always like to follow it up with a probiotic. I love doing the GI map test. It's a stool test, and you can really see what's growing in there, what's deficient in there, and kind of see, do you have overgrowth? Are you growing good bacteria well? Sometimes I'll have patients take a supplement called Tributrin. It's a short chain fatty acid that has butyrate, propionate, acetate. These are all like miracle grow for your good bacteria. I like patients being on that because it helps them to grow their good bacteria. But mostly if we back up, putting lots of veggies in, putting lots of plant fibers in, making sure that your good bacteria have something to eat because they eat plants. So make sure that you're eating plants. Okay. Make sure you're having vegetables and fruits and herbs and, cilantro and parsley, and add some veggies. Okay. That's helpful. Does lupus cause pain in your bones, in your head? Oh, lupus causes pain in a lot of places. So yeah, you can have a lot of joint pain with lupus for sure. You can have a lot of inflammation. You can feel super fatigued. You can feel literally like garbage. So yeah, all those kind of body pain things are going to go along with autoimmunity for sure. So any recommendations on PBC at an early stage, no liver damage? Okay. Primary biliary cholangitis. Okay. So that just is a fancy word for like the liver has this little duct, like a bile duct that goes into your gallbladder. It's just how you detox things, and it's just the way that your liver works. That's where the autoimmunity can be right there. So if you have that, I would love for you to be on a supplement with milk thistle, dandelion root. What else would we think about? Artichoke. Those are great for the gallbladder and the liver. I would think about making sure you're on vitamin D. Do you have a hard time digesting fats? If you have a problem with your bile duct or your gallbladder, sometimes you can eat fats and then you get diarrhea and you get bloated and you have pain. So that's something we need to worry about, right? So then you're not absorbing your fat soluble vitamins. Those are A, D, E, K. Okay. A, D, E, and K. If you are always vitamin D deficient and you take vitamin D and you don't know why, and fats are tough for you to digest, we might need to give you some gallbladder support or some support to digest some fats. Okay. My favorite one is by Pure Encapsulations. It's called Digestion GB. It's got lipase, which breaks down fat, and it has oxbile or bile salts, which helps to break down fat. And you could take a vitamin A, D, E, K with that, and that would be helpful. We want fats. We have to have fats. We have to be able to digest them. That's what I'm worried about with primary biliary cholangitis, is I don't think you're going to be able to get your body to digest fats. What can cause a high ESR, which is like an inflammatory marker, and normal ANA and normal white blood cell, but you still feel horrible with bone pain? Okay, Haley, we need more labs. We just need more labs on you. Like, what's going on here? I wonder, do you have Hashimoto's? How's your thyroid? Has someone done a complete thyroid panel on you? TSH, free T3, free T4, thyroglobulin antibodies, thyroid peroxidase antibodies. That's a more complete thyroid panel. You can do reverse T3 too. I feel like, do you have blood sugar issues? Is your blood sugar too high? Is it too low? Do you have prediabetes? Do you have food reactions? We got to dig a little bit more with you. ANA is normal. Yeah, right. We got to figure this out. This is it. It's literally like, this is always it's like we're inspectors, right? It's like we're trying to like solve the case, right? We have some clues, but we don't have all the clues. And sometimes the doctor doesn't want to give you any clues, right? And it's really, really frustrating, and you get really gaslit, and it's really annoying. So keep digging. Keep digging. If you need some help getting some more labs, let me know. I can send you a Cash Labs link or something like that. Nucleolar. That's the next question. Shy. Okay. So nucleolar is going to be, gosh, it could move into lupus, could move into Sjogren's. We need more answers. I would love for you to do an ANA cascade. See if you can come up with any tissues that are specifically getting attacked. I mean, it could be even dry eyes and dry mouth, and we need to know that. How serious is this? So you can have something like nucleolar or homogeneous, and then you do this ANA cascade and it's super negative. Okay, this is kind of like you're loading, right? You're loading and you're not quite there. Amazing. You don't have other tissues? Amazing. Then we just start working with some functional medicine principles to try to calm this down. Okay. Oh my God, Gwen's here. Hi, Gwen. I feel like, Gwen, you and I are going to be on lives every single day for the next 90 days. Gwen is part of my autoimmune shift program. She's amazing. And she has her TikTok is Lupus Chick, CHICK. Follow her. She's got great information about lupus and managing lupus. And she's my friend and she's the best. So, and she's in my program. So she's on all the time. So, Gwen, it has lots of info. Okay. Is it true for some with celiac that Italian imported pasta is different and not so invasive? Okay. This is a really interesting question. Okay. Celiac. You're going to react to any gluten anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter if it's from Italy or if it's from here or if it's anywhere. Okay, so celiac is different. It doesn't get to have that sort of like, you get to go to Italy and you get to eat all the pasta. If you have celiac, you don't get a free pass. It's kind of crappy, and I'm sorry. If you have a gluten intolerance, if you have autoimmunity and gluten really flares you, and you go to Italy and you have their pasta and you feel okay, it means you have gluten intolerance, not celiac. And it's cleaner over there. Okay. So they don't have Roundup being sprayed on it. They don't have hybridized wheat. It's different over there. It's a little more tolerable. Now, if you ate a bunch of it for a long period of time, would it still bother you? Probably. But you could get away with a little bit of it over there. But with celiac, not so much. So because it's just gluten, and gluten is gluten wherever you go. So you're going to have gluten-free, so gluten-free grains is better. Positive ANA 1 in 80, nuclear speckled. Okay, so we have a 1 in 80. 1 in 80 is like kind of the lowest positive. Sometimes they think 1 in 40 is positive, but it's really 1 in 80 is kind of the lowest positive they consider positive. Nuclear speckled. So it's kind of like you might have other markers coming. It's not very specific. We want to do an ANA cascade to really see if you have more specific tissues. You could even do a test through a company called Avise, AVISE, and that would be helpful for figuring out other specific tissues. So we know what we're going toward. And we're going to overlap this with like, what are your symptoms, right? What's happening? So another person has 1 in 80 borderline, 1 in 80 positive, and RFX titer pattern, positive, negative. Okay, you have maybe 2 positives. You can have 2 markers. You can have 2. You can have 3. You can have 3 different patterns, right? So we want to figure out what is going on if you have 3 different patterns. Your immune system's getting really active on this. So somebody has a low C4 for 3 years now, speckled and mid-body pattern. Okay, you feel terrible every day. I'm so sorry. Brooke, you're struggling. Okay. And your C4 is low. So C4 and C3, those are called complement. It just tells us if it was high, it would mean you have a high antibody load, like, or not antibodies, I'm sorry, like a pathogen load, like a viral load or bacterial load. It's like really a heavy burden, right? But when it gets low, I get a little bit more worried because your immune system is like, I'm burning out. I'm super exhausted. And it sounds like you're feeling like that too. So I want you to understand we have to change a lot of things, Brooke. We got to change a bunch of stuff. And I would love for you to hop onto that link in my my bio. It's darlabooth.com/compass/. Pop in there. There's a Compass program in there that you can, it's like $179 for the whole course. You're learning a lot of things with a bunch of videos. And then you can get in my autoimmune support group because we need to understand how to support you better. You're burning out. We need to put you on probably an autoimmune paleo diet, figure out what your food triggers are, get you on 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. We got to figure out if you have leaky gut. Do you have a high viral load that you're really struggling with, that you're getting burnt out from? We need to figure out what's happening here because something's happening. And I don't think you can pull yourself out of this. We got to get you some strategies. Okay. Come over to my program. Gwen's in there. Lorenza's in there. I just have a couple other gals in there this morning. It's super fun. We can just Q&A till we can get you feeling better, okay? Let's see. Someone has 1.5 centimeter lesion on the liver, found on a CT scan. So hard to say, right? I mean, sometimes there's like, you can have wacky things come up on your organs. You can have like fluid-filled little cysts and lesions. It's not very specific. I'd love to get somebody's deeper dive on that to see. They can even do a little ultrasound on your liver. Sometimes you can have a little bit of fatty liver that can cause these things called lesions. It's kind of non-specific. So get more data. Maybe get somebody to do an ultrasound on your liver to make sure that you're okay. Someone's had positive ANA for several years, probably 5 years or more, supposed to see a rheumatologist. Okay, yes, we want to bring in the rheumatologist when you feel like I need some serious help. Like Brooke, you too. Numb, tingling in your hands, petechiae, yes, positive. Okay, you've been positive ANA in the past, but you're now negative. Okay, we got to do some deep dives. But if you go into the rheumatologist, they might be looking at like, hey, here's hydroxychloroquine, or here's another medication that can calm your immune system down. We can use rheumatologists for good strategies for medications that are helpful. It doesn't mean that that's your only solution, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't weave in all these supplement strategies, food strategies, making sure you're sleeping, getting your vitamin D up, figuring out what's happening with your viral load. What triggered this? Is Epstein-Barr high? Do you feel like you get triggers of herpes, or do you have breakouts with herpes sores on your mouth or something? That's a huge problem, right? So then that's a virus that triggers your immune system to overact. So we got to get that virus to calm down, right? So we got to figure this out. We got to figure out why this is happening. And it's not always like Brooke, even if you're ANA negative, it doesn't mean that, you're still autoimmune, Brooke. If something popped up positive ANA and then you went negative, great, but you feel like trash. So we got to figure this out. We got to figure out your blood sugar. We got to figure out lots of things. So come on over and let me help you. Our whole group, we're a group that really, we're working on stuff. We're fixing everybody. And I got some people that have been in my group over a year, and they're like, man, they're whiz-bang wizards right now. They're figuring things out. They're helping everybody, which is great. Okay. 1 in 116 nuclear, dense, fine, speckled. Okay, symptoms are joint pains and swelling in the feet and the legs. So we've got to figure out a dense, fine, speckled. I'm not so worried about, but it does say that your immune system is dysregulated. I'm not as worried about you marching into heavy autoimmunity with dense, fine, speckled, but nuclear could move into some things, right? Could move into Sjogren's. It could move in even into scleroderma. So we need to do an ANA cascade. We need to figure out some strategies on why your immune system has started doing this. Okay, that's a big picture I want you to think about. Why is your immune system doing this? Why would it start attacking you? It's ANA positive is one of the worst autoimmune things you can have. It's literally attacking the DNA of your body, like the instructions, the set of instructions inside the cell that tells your cell what to do, how to duplicate, how to replicate, how to make your body healthy. That's what it's attacking. So it's the most aggressive autoimmune situation that happens is that. So we want to figure out how do we live a good life and calm that down, right? Brooke, you've been seeing rheumatology, cardiology, dermatology. Yeah. Okay. You're probably going a little bit crazy, Brooke, because listen, you are everywhere, and people are probably going, okay, we don't know what to do with Brooke, because you're in this weird gray zone, right? You're like positive for stuff, but you don't have full-blown disease. So it's hard to get diagnosed. You're in this weird zone. So if you want some support, reach out. I'm happy to help you figure this out. You need some support. Yes, basement membrane. Okay. Yeah, you have some good specific stuff going on. And but we need to figure out what we're going to do about it, right? Figuring out how your Treg cells are doing, why it's attacking, what are we going to do to calm it down? Having some of my patients have really good success with black seed oil. That's been interesting. Black cumin seed oil, really helpful. That's an anti-inflammatory. Shai says your liver is low. How do you fix it? Okay. Liver support. Let's talk about that. Liver loves milk thistle. It loves glutathione. It loves dandelion root. These are great herbs that you can take that are really helpful for your liver to be happier and to function better. So and also we just want to make sure that your body's not inflamed, and, big picture, what you're eating is not flaring you up. Okay. Brooke, you're on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs. Let's make sure you're on 5,000 IUs. Somebody has pelvic congestion syndrome. Is it an autoimmune disease? I can't cure it. Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Gosh, do you have a really good pelvic floor PT. Have you ever worked with a pelvic floor PT? I have a whiz-bang good one here in Moscato, Southern California. I just wonder if you have a good pelvic floor person to be able to kind of work on you and figure out what's happening with you. It could be muscular, could be kind of musculoskeletal in the structure of your whole pelvic floor. It isn't always autoimmunity, but sometimes it can be. What else? Brooke says ankles and feet swell along with your knee. They started on Plaquenil to help with symptoms. I wonder if Plaquenil is helping. And you're EBV positive and now recovering for the last 6 months. Okay, Brooke, you might need to be on like an antiviral, like something like Lauracine. Lauracine is like a lysine supplement with monolaurin. Maybe EBV activates on you and maybe that really triggers you. Sounds like you might have a viral situation going on. Okay, Shai, I want you to take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, and I want you to take a liquid. I want you to go to the store. Like, do you have a Sprouts around? Do you have some kind of, mom and pop health food store? Get a liquid vitamin D with a dropper. Okay. It's easier to absorb. It's easier to get it, but I want you to be on at least 5,000 IUs. Okay. Because 1,000 is not enough. Yeah. So Brooke, lots of interesting stuff going on with you. It feels like you're kind of in this gray zone if something's going wrong, but nothing's popped up positive yet. Super frustrating, right? Joint pain, restless leg at night, can't get out of bed just by doing simple house cleaning. Yeah. Okay. Do you have iron anemia? Restless leg can often be iron anemia. So we would want to take a look at that. So how do you get some organic black seed oil? I got some organic black seed powder. How do I use it? Black seed powder. Now, how does it taste? Can you put it in water? I haven't worked with black seed powder before. I usually use capsules or it comes in a liquid. If it doesn't taste too bad, you could probably put it in something liquid and stir it up. I'm not sure, actually. I haven't done powder before. Super helpful. Yeah, extremely fatigued, having zapping feeling in your head, affects vision. Sounds like you've got some inflammation, even some brain inflammation. And I wonder if it's even viral, Brooke. I wonder. D has had an advice test done with negative in all areas, but a weak positive in anti-cardiolipin. Okay, I'm so glad you got that. You added that one. So I love that advice test. It's so cool. It's the most detailed test you can do to figure out all the little different markers. Now, cardiolipin is like for phospholipids, which is kind of like part of your like cells, like how you like it can move toward like it's usually a clotting antibody. So let's say do you clot a lot with like anti-cardiolipin D? Do you clot? Sometimes it's associated with miscarriage just because you have like abnormal clotting happening. So something you want to think about. You can have little microclots in your brain, little microclots in your legs. Antiphospholipid syndrome, it could move toward. And so what I would think about is getting on fish oils every day. That's an anti-platelet, anti-clotting helpful supplement. So, but you want to watch that guy, okay? Get on vitamin D. If you feel like you have an ANA marker or you have a marker where you're really worried about it and you're worried that this is going to go into something, get on my Shift program. You could do there's 13 videos educating you about everything that you could possibly want to know. There's resources about what labs to get, how to get them. There's links for supplements and you get a discount on all the supplements that you need. And also you get to have an autoimmune support group with me on Fridays. So pop in there, join us. It's really helpful. We have a whole group of people that are super smart and that we can all help you figure out what's going on. Oh, black seed powder. Black seed powder tastes awful. Maybe you just want to get a capsule. Maybe that's where I would go because I have one of my people in my Shift group, on my autoimmune Shift group on Fridays. She's taking it as liquid. She's like, I hate it. It's terrible, but I'm taking it. How about gel caps? Maybe we just skip the powder. Sounds terrible. Okay, so this is about restless legs and not being able to get up out of bed. Iron levels currently normal. Also have hair loss, brain fog, 1 in 80 speckled. Okay, hair loss is a big trigger for, could still be like, we want to look at something in your iron numbers that look like, it's called TIBC. How much is binding? Do you have enough iron? Is it binding? What's your hemoglobin look like? Is it getting there? Is it attaching, right? That's something we want to know about. So that's something to think about. Other hair loss things, blood sugar. Is your blood sugar getting too high? Are you pre-diabetic? Do you have blood sugar spikes a lot? Does your blood sugar crash? That can cause hair loss. Other things that can cause hair loss, looking at your thyroid. Do you have Hashimoto's? How's your thyroid functioning? I'd love to see all of those things. Brain fog. Yeah, I mean, something that's been helpful with brain fog has been the black seed oil. It's a very, very, very strong anti-inflammatory, really, really helpful. So we could do that. You could try that too. But also, if you have a 1 in 80 speckled, we want to make sure that we can calm your autoimmunity down, right? So let us help you figure that out. We don't want to march forward with autoimmunity without any answers and knowing what we're doing. This is why I've created this whole group, so that we can know what we're doing, so we can help each other and we cannot move toward full-blown disease if it's possible, okay? So come over and let us help you. It's super fun group. It's great to have a group of people who have autoimmunity so that you know you're not alone. That's always a big thing. Okay, so Dee had a premature baby at 30 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that could be this sort of anticardiolipin antibody that you have. It's possible. Yeah. Okay, Brooke, APS and lupus anticoagulant positive, brain fog, anticardiolipin positive, okay. So yeah, so this is a big deal. All these markers are a big deal. Anticardiolipin means that you can clot and you can form clots and you can have miscarriages and you can have strokes and you can develop issues, right? Blood clot issues. So fish oils are a big deal here, but also this is an autoimmune thing. Your immune system is attacking and creating this problem. So we have to teach you how to calm this down, okay? Headaches, you just got an MRI on your brain. Good idea, right? And then Brooke has emphysema diagnosed at 32. Brooke, you are struggling, my friend. You need some support. This is just so frustrating for you. We've got to figure out how to calm all this down, okay? Someone was in the ER with a migraine that looked like you were having a full-blown stroke. Okay, migraines, ooh, man, they are aggressive. And hopefully you recovered. Really scary stuff, really scary. Oh, Brooke, 13 miscarriages. Yeah, Brooke, you really should pop over on my autoimmune shift group. We should support you. You need to come into the fold. You need to get some support, because we've got to help you figure out food and supplements, get you on some glutathione, figure out a better diet that is going to be helpful for you. The thing is, I don't want this to continue, right? It's just continue. It's like you're barreling down this terrible direction and you don't have a lot of support. You need some support. Get on my link in my bio and just click on, it's like a link tree bio, and it says join the shift. Just join the shift. Let's start. I have something starting on, it's the first group. The group will be starting on Friday. I have a group of a few people in there right now, but we're starting a new group on Friday. So we're gonna have a small group, lots of time for Q&A. I'm on an hour Zoom with you guys, just one-on-one, giving you some answers, okay? But I want you to learn. There's a learning like module in there. There's all these videos that are just me talking about things. And I just made it all for you guys to kind of like get you up to speed so you know all your basics, okay? Okay, TikTok's like, your live has gone too long. Okay, give me a break. Okay, okay, can't get a diagnosis. You live in, is it Turkey? Okay. So, how do you access lab work over there? Yeah, this is tricky because you do need to get lab work to probably get a proper diagnosis. I don't know if I can send my test kits your way because I'm not really sure who's doing testing in Turkey. But if you can somehow get an ANA cascade from someone over there, I would love to see what your markers would be, okay? If you can always assume that you just have autoimmunity and start putting some autoimmune principles at work here and see if you can calm it down. Vitamin D, get on glutathione, get some black seed oil, get on an autoimmune paleo diet, like things like that. You could just work in the dark and say, listen, I'm just going to assume I have it and start doing some things and trying to calm this down. Get your blood sugar stabilized. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure your stress level's not off the roof. If you're in menopause, you might need some hormone support. That's helpful. Okay, can I translate into Turkish? Yes, I believe so. My Autoimmune Shift program has a translator app in there, and it would be interesting for you to go through that, and it can translate. So absolutely, if that's helpful for you. Yes, clove tea can be helpful. I'm not sure about autoimmunity, how clove tea works, though. I don't know. Okay, so many things. Yeah, I know. There's so many labs. First of all, labs that you can't understand. And then if you don't speak the language, you can't understand either. I don't know Turkish yet, but listen, it's good for my brain to learn another language. Let's go. Someone says, did my advice test, but being negative in all areas, but anti-cardiolipin, IgM, to rule out lupus. Yes. So, yes. So if you have a positive at all on the advice test or an ANA, you have autoimmunity. Okay. You live under an umbrella with all of us that have autoimmunity, and there are strategies that can get your immune system to calm down. And that's our big picture here. There's food triggers, there are viral triggers. If you're not sleeping, blood sugar's high and low. If you can take certain supplements to modulate and calm down your autoimmunity, making sure your gut, you don't have leaky gut, making sure that you don't have overgrowth of bad bacteria. There's a lot to know. That's why it's hard for me to put out a recipe that says, follow this recipe and your autoimmunity will go away. It doesn't really work like that. That's why it's complicated. So I have to get you to listen and learn, and then you can help me understand that what you have and how to calm it down. It doesn't really matter if you have lupus, anticardiolipin, if you have MS, if you have Hashimoto's, because it's all autoimmunity. It's named by what your immune system has decided to attack, right? So the strategies are very, very similar. So if it is impossible to help autoimmunity with no supplements, no. I mean, I want you to get your vitamin D in. Can you get some vitamin D? 5,000 IUs or 125 micrograms per day? That would be one of your best strategies. Getting off of gluten and dairy can be very, very helpful. If you did those things, you might be really helpful. I'm going to answer one or two more questions and I got to hop off, but I'm going to be on lives every day because I really am just trying to get people the message out. So you can catch me a lot of times now. What is a high RNP show? It could mean lupus, maybe, right? I mean, what else can it be? RNP. Someone says on my way. Okay, come on over. I'm in California, but best way to take vitamin D? I mean, liquid is the best way to get your vitamin D, but you can get it in capsules too. But liquid is always better. RNP. RNP alone. We want to think about mixed connective tissue disease, or it's joint pain, it's muscle pain, right? RNP with Smith antibodies or dsDNA tends to go more toward lupus. RNP with the nucleolar pattern can be an overlap with scleroderma. See, all these things are kind of like Venn diagrams. They all kind of overlap with each other, right? So it kind of depends on what your symptoms are too. Where can I get an advice test? Okay, you have to get, it's a prescribed thing. If you want one, you can send an email to my office. Let me tell you the email. It's office@darlabooth, DARLABOOTH.com. Office@darlabooth.com. Email my admin, Delia, and say, hey, I was on a TikTok and I want to get an advice test. Because we can get it for you for really inexpensively. Okay. So just email Delia. She'll help you. She's going to pray more with me. She's going to be like, why are all these people emailing me? It's fine. Okay, you guys, I am going to, do you take it mornings or evenings? Vitamin D? Anytime? Yeah, you could take it with food. Yeah, it's an oil. You could take it with anything. Yeah. You could take it by itself. Doesn't matter. Someone has Hashimoto's. Oh, that's a different language, but I recognize Hashimoto's right there. I don't know those other words. Pemphigus? What is that one? Hold on. I'm just going to look at and PRU. I'll try to see if I can see this really quick before I go. What do those mean? Okay. Oh, Pemphigus nodularis. Okay. Yep. Those itchy, firm nodules in your skin. Got it. And Hashimoto's. We got to get your immune system to calm down. This is really annoying. It's attacking your skin. It's attacking your thyroid. So, and oftentimes it goes into different things, right? So we want to like slow it down. It's like a fire. You're like, please, can we slow down this fire so it doesn't destroy the entire forest, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to calm this down. So we want to, with Hashimoto specifically, we want to get you on selenium. We're going to get you on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs every day. But also, we want to get you off of foods that are triggering you. It could be gluten, it could be dairy, grains, it could be nightshades. You can do an autoimmune paleo diet to try to figure this out. I put this all in my autoimmune shift program. You can learn, this is an all learning module, plus resources, plus an autoimmune support group. If you want to hop on there, it's in my link tree. It's also on darlabooth.com, and you can get in there and it says online courses, and that's pops in there. Okay. So I'm so happy that you guys joined in. If you want some help, pop in. I'm on Zooms. I'm going to be on lives every day. And all I want to do is get you guys feeling better. Okay. So find me tomorrow and every single day for the next 90 days, because I'm on lives for 90 days. Take good care, and we'll talk soon.